Hi all and welcome to this final update of the Druid Shaman Spellcaster build for Diablo 4 open beta. And I know everything's going to change when the Diablo 4 goes live in, I think it's June. But I want to do this overview video on this character. As I said, I would do one at the end of the event in my previous video, so here it is. Costs: I've spent everything I could on this character to the point where I've got pretty much not much left. There's no point spending obols because I've got legendaries or rares with imprinted legendary items making them legendary. I've spent over 500,000 gold on rerolls and imprints and aspects, etc, etc. So that's all of that. We've gone through I think we did about 12 full ability respecs, plus God knows how many mini point changes, testing absolutely everything to see how the build felt. I've done every single dungeon I've done apart from one which we'll showcase in this video later on. I've spammed the world boss every time it was up to try and get the best gear. I know there's a farming strategy of farming a level 30 mob. I did some of that as well. So let's go through the abilities, where I ended up. For me personally, I ended up with Wind Shear. I tried the other ones, and this one is overall the better for my personal playstyle and the way I was running the build. So we took 1 point into Wind Shear, and then we put another point in for travel. We took Enhanced Wind Shear for the 20% chance to make enemies vulnerable. And then we took Fierce Wind Shear to give us that extra movement speed for moving around boss mechanics. Came particularly helpful when we was fighting the world boss. We'll then put another point in Wind Shear just as a travel node. So the idea is you spam Wind Shear just before you're going to do your ultimate, so things are vulnerable, and then you hit your ultimate skill so it takes more damage. And the reason we've gone Wind Shear is because it pierces, so if there's a lot of mobs like the boss plus adds, or just a ton of adds with an elite, you can make things multiple things vulnerable, and then you hit your ultimate skill and things die. We put 4 points into Lightning Storm and then 1 from an item. We've got an Enhanced Lightning Storm, and we chose Raging Lightning Storm after testing Primal Lightning Storm. Coming down here, because of the way I wanted to run the build and we've only got 6 buttons, I couldn't take a guard skill at all, so we ended up putting 3 points into Ancestral Fortitude just for travel. We took our Friendly Wolves because, as per previously, ravens are a bit bad because they're static. And Poison Creeper, there are so many things in that one that are immune to poison, it's unbelievable. So we've got 1 point in Wolves plus 1 from an item, and then we've got Enhanced Wolf Pack, and then we took Ferocious Wolf Pack for that lovely Fortify. Coming down, we put 4 points into Hurricane plus 1 from item, and then we took Enhanced Hurricane, and then we took Savage Hurricane for less damage, so we can get actually into boss fights. And then we took 1 point into Trample. Only Trample, we didn't buff it at all, we just put 1 point into Trample. And the reason we did that is for Unstoppable. There are so many mechanics in this game that crowd control you or freeze you or just stop you from doing anything. Some bosses that have a vampire effect on you, so they grab you, you're stunned, they regain health. Having this get out of jail free card, if you like, has been brilliant. It does have a 13-second cooldown, but it's surprising how often that comes back up. I think every character in every build should have some way of becoming unstoppable. And then we go down to our ultimate skill, which we take Cataclysm, then we took Prime Cataclysm, and then we took Supreme Cataclysm. So that's all the points, level 25 plus 2 points from account doing things in Act. Most people should have those as well. So that's all the points. On to gearing. So we've got this helm which we imprinted with basic skills, grant 25% damage reduction for 6.5 seconds. Again, we spam the Wind Shear, get that damage reduction, cast ultimate, and we're away. In there we've got a socket with 5.5 maximum life. On it we've got 8% life regen while not damaged, cooldown reduction, and we spammed the rerolls until we got something decent, so that's armor. For some unknown reason, Diablo 4 has chosen to be armor as the defense for pretty much everything, even stacks with your resistances. Why, I'm not sure. So we've got this chest piece with lightning resist, damage reduction from distant enemies, and again more armor. Imprinted with gaining 0.35% increased armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage, stacking up to 35%. We've done added 2 sockets for 2 red gems of a total of 11% increased maximum life. Down to our gloves, again it was an imprinted rare. We re-rolled to get the lucky hit chance, some intelligence, and +1 rank of lightning storm. The imprint is distant enemies have a 15% chance to be stunned for 2 seconds when they hit you, and you deal 48% increased chance to stunned enemies. Moving down to our pants, we've got 5% damage reduction from close enemies, 4.5% damage reduction while fortified, +1 hurricane, and a useless one which is +1 rabies. I couldn't re-roll it because this is actually legendary and you need a specific herb, and the only way you can get that herb is seemingly from hell or an event that makes an area hell. It doesn't seem to be in the beta, so I couldn't re-roll the rabies off. Here we've got you heal for 7.8% life per second for each close enemy, up to 46.0 life per second, and then we've added 2 sockets to get the 11% increased maximum life. Down to our boots, I've had better boots drop, but they didn't have movement speed on the implicit, so this is the best pair of boots we got with the movement speed on there. We re-rolled to get spirit cost reduction, some cold resist, and more movement speed. We imprinted it with becoming injured while crowd control grants you unstoppable for 4 seconds with a 20-second cooldown. As for our amulet, we've got +1 defense skills, +1 companion skills, spirit cost reduction, and dodge chance. Again, as this is a legendary item, we can't re-roll, so we got stuck with that. Legendary powers: when hit while not healthy, magical bubble is summoned around you, 4.5 seconds, and we're immune, which was handy when we did the world boss earlier. On to our ring, Circle of Inner Calm. So it's got a low roll, high 8.6% increased damage for each second you stand still, which is great because when we're channeling Lightning Storm, we get that increase in damage. As for our other ring, this is a rare with imprint, so we've got damage over time. Although none of the skills specifically state damage over time, I've not seen any Druid skills that have damage over time tag. So Hurricane does damage over time, but it doesn't have a damage over time tag. Possibly word thing. Plus some vulnerable damage there, and we re-rolled for damage to close enemies as we tend to be in close proximity of most of our enemies. Skills do up to 32% increased damage based on your available primary resource when cast, receiving the maximum benefit while you have full primary resource. So again, the idea is to use wind shear everything just before we use our ultimate skill. So we've got maximum primary skill, primary resources, then hit cataclysmic, and then spam a lightning storm. Things die. Down to a weapon which we just literally picked up after doing the last dungeon, and this is a staff. I was going for one-handed and totem, but we found this staff. Again, damage over time, 10 all stats, 10 damage to close enemies, and 22 basic skill. And we've got critical strikes with storm skills, change the air around you for 2.4 seconds, causing a lightning strike to periodically hit an enemy in the area for 440 lightning damage, which can be increased by critical strikes. So it's a low second but max damage staff, and if we go through all our skills, lightning storm is storm, wind shear storm, hurricane storm, cataclysm storm. So most of our skills are going to benefit from having that proc. So that's the abilities, and that's the gear. And now we're going to go and run a dungeon. So here we are in the final dungeon to be completed with this character, and that is the Sanguine Chapel. We're going to run through this and you can see how the build performs and decide whether it's something you might want to try out in the last few hours of this event. So we've already got max spirit. We hit our hurricane off. There goes the lightning storm. So as you can see, you can aim it. It don't last very long. It's quite expensive as a skill, which is why I've tried to get spirit cost reduction on all my gear. Just going to pop the ultimate. So don't always channel. Oh, hello, legendaries. I know there's been an increase, or there is an increase in the amount of legendaries we're getting for this event, and I'm not sure whether I like that because it's going to set unexpected expectations for the actual release. I didn't actually know they'd done that. I just, based on D3, I just assumed that that was how many legendaries we got. Wasn't until I was watching a content creator and they mentioned it and I was like, oh, well, not sure how much I like that. I kind of understand why they did it, so everyone could get all or most of the legendary powers they wanted and test them out. But yeah. Compared to other builds, and from what I understand, most of the Necromancer builds are bugged and or broken due to interactions that weren't thought about by the QA people of Diablo 4. So please don't compare this to a Necromancer. It is busted. I also know from speaking to some content creators that Sorcerer was busted. I don't know if they fixed that or hot fixed it. I've not seen anything to say it was. Specifically the Hydra build, I think that the scaling for additional Hydras is a bit broken apparently. Don't be cursed, don't be cursed. No. Oh, bonus. It wasn't cursed and it's a conduit. Nice. Is it going to last? Yep. Managed to kill that mob down. That's nice. Pick up the first mechanical box. If you're wondering what those druidic offerings are, they're part of the level 15 quest for Druid. But unfortunately, once I've stopped being hit, stop it, leave me alone. Right, thank you. Much like the Barbarian, you can't actually get to the Druid quest because it's in the out of bounds area. So that means, wrong button, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nearly 700 Druidic Spirit offerings. And all I did was just labelled all of these with 1 stacks, so they just sat all the way along there. I still think it's a bad idea if you're going to do a beta to leave out important skills for classes. Even if it was just a, oops, we made a mistake and for this event it's going to be here, just so people could access it. I don't know the technical limitations of doing that, but I also think it's pretty bad that 2 of the classes don't have access to their abilities. And you see there the wind shear going all the way down the corridor. Oh, another one. What we've got this time? Artillery shrine. Nice. Just kill all this lot. We want to be trying to reach the boss. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it. Yikes. Let's kill all these. as many as we can with the artillery shrine going, and we're out of shrine now, I think. Oh no, not yet. Ah, there it goes. Get the walls on him. There we go. I prefer this character better than the ranged rogue I built, or the bow rogue as I called it in my video. There's a lot less managing and playing around with various skills and abilities to set up. I did love the rogue. It's a brilliant character, it's a brilliant build, but you're constantly managing your resource, and then as soon as you get it, it's gone, and you hope to kill the mob with the mark on to replenish your energy stores. So I started to find that a bit annoying, but that's part and parcel of the build, or the way I built the build. If I'd had much more time in the beta and didn't want to do everything else, then yeah, it'd have been pretty cool. Can I place my device, please? Thank you. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not exactly sure when the boss room is, but I want to trying to make sure that I do have maximum spirit for that event, so we can set off our cataclysm and then our lightning strike at full bar energy to maximize our damage. Oh. Set the walls on him, keep him out of our way. Ah, damn teleport. Oh, hurricane wasn't off cooldown, I thought it was. Oh, dodge out of that. Oh, some legendary again. Once I've done this video, I'm going to go and play around with the Necromancer for the last few hours of the beta. I know it's busted and I know it's broken. I'm going to try and stay away from the build that everyone's doing, which is the Blood Corpse build. I just want to play around and see what other skills it's got available. I don't like the Necromancer in any of the ARP versions I've played. I don't like it in PoE, I don't like it in Diablo 3, so we'll give the one in Diablo 4 beta a shot and see how we go. It's another reason why I haven't really spent the obols. I know I'm going to get more by playing the character, but spending them on this character or my rogue or my barb would be pretty pointless. I'm going to do reviews on those as well, how they work. I probably won't do a dungeon because it'll take too much time, and like I said, I want to do the Necromancer, but I did play them. I got the barb to level 25, and I did that yesterday as well, just to take a break from the Druid. Farming dungeons solo is boring. There's no other way of putting it. I find farming these dungeons in D4 by yourself boring. So what I was trying to do was do a bit of farm, do 2 or 3 dungeons. Then I did some exploration to try and fill out the map, and from there I did some events, did the world boss, did the last few levels on the barb, deleted my other barb, deleted the sorcerer to get, right, let's quickly get, I wasn't paying attention. Right, here we go. So we've got maximum resource, we wind shear, try and make it vulnerable. There goes cataclysm, then we go straight into lightning storm. Set the walls on there, probably should have done that beforehand. There comes that's why we have trample. Straight out, because that is a health drain ability, so the boss gets health back from that event, and then hopefully we can kill it before it gets to the next one. There it goes. There we go. So that's the character I have built without using the internet or following what other people have done. I hope you like it. I know there's not a lot of left time back in the beta, but if you want to give it a try, you have all the information you need to be able to put this together. Hopefully you've got the aspects featured or legendaries stuck in your stash. As I said, this character came around about 500,000 gold. I was unlucky on some of the rerolls, and then adding the sockets. If you've got the item, the materials needed, I had about 6 or 7 of them, all been used. I think I've got 1 left maybe to add all the sockets, because you can add 2 to the chest armor and 2 to the pants, which brings me to the fact I've got 549 life. So I thought that was pretty good life total based on the gear that was available in the beta. So that's the Druid. That's my Shaman version of the Druid. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi all, so we're just going to quickly go over the Rogue, and when I say quickly I do mean quickly. I've got some IRL chores I need to do, and I want to be playing that Necromancer before the beta ends. So we're just going to quickly go over the abilities that differ from the video I did earlier on my channel, and quickly go over the gearing, and then we'll go out in the world and do a little bit of mob farming. Please note this was the first character I made in the closed beta. The gear is not that great, and at that point I didn't know about extracting legendary powers and imprinting them onto rares. So let's quickly go through the gear. We've got this upgraded helm with a barrier skill on there, the stats. We've got this rare chest armor. I never bothered to upgrade it to a legendary. Didn't find one I wanted, and yeah, again, imprinting legendary powers. I didn't think about it. We got these gloves with marksman skills, chance to create an arrow storm. We've got these pants, which gives us a free dark shroud when we stand still. I don't think this works though. I've not seen it appear on my buffs at all. We've got these pretty bad boots because they don't have a movement speed implicit. I remember spending obols trying to get one and was unsuccessful. We've got this crossbow, marking an enemy vulnerable with a chance to grant increased crit for a period of time. We've got the standard bubble amulet, which has been upgraded once. We've got this vulnerable enemy grants 70% increased energy regeneration for 4 seconds, which is brilliant. And then we've got this rare ring, and then finally we've got the 2 blades we're using for our shadow step. Drop some stun grenades, and we've got this horrible dagger that I've upgraded 4 times, because at the point I got this I didn't realise about extracting and then imprinting. The reason we've kept this though is it's got the max rolled 10% increased damage for each second you're standing still, up to 30%. It's got some life on kill on there as well from a skull. Excuse me. That's the gearing. Have a look at the abilities. There we go. So we're trying to make things as vulnerable in as many places as possible. I've looked through all the abilities and tried to spec that way. In that sense, we have then taken Forceful Arrow. We tested out Heart Seeker. Forceful Arrow is way better. And then we took Enhanced Forceful Arrow and Fundamental Force Arrow. It doesn't make people vulnerable. It pierces, and I'm not interested in piercing. We'd rather have a knockback. We took 5 points out of 5 for Barrage. We made it Enhanced Barrage, and then we took Improved Barrage, hoping to get that vulnerability status. Come down, we took 1 point in Shadow Step, Enhanced Shadow Step, and then we took Methodical Shadow Step in hoping of stunning things. Coming down, we've got Dark Shroud, because this one makes the most sense. I think in a longer game, Concealment would be better, but for general running around, for the extra speed, and for the damage reduction, Dark Shroud wins in this event, because we took Enhanced, and then we took Subverting, which gives us our extra movement speed for each Dark Shroud. So the more we have, the faster we go. We then invested into Shadow damage, so we took 1 point into Shadow Imbuement, Enhanced Shadow, and Blended Shadow, again hoping to get that vulnerable status. 1 point into Shadow Crash to get to Consuming Shadows and then max that out. This opened up our ultimate skill, and looking at all of them, testing out our Rain of Arrows, Shadow Clone is still miles better. And then we took Prime Shadow Clone and then Supreme Shadow Clone. Because of the energy regeneration from that legendary power, we don't need to take Innovation, and it's a chance rather than guaranteed. So that's how we spec it, that's abilities we use, that's the gearing we have. Let's go out into the world just to make sure everything's correct on the bar. Yep, right, let's go. Let's go and see if we can find some mobs. So, activate our 2 skills. Get that increased ability. Try to find a pack of mobs to kill. Oh, I just used Shadow Clone. Supposed to have used that one. Never mind. Oh well, wasted the ultimate skill. Oh, don't rubber band me. Come on. I think of all the things in the beta, that is the most annoying. Oh, there's an event. Let's go and see the event. I know my ultimate's on cooldown. Let's just wait for that to come off. We don't know what stage the event's at, or has it just disappeared? I think it's just disappeared. Oh no, it's still there. 15 seconds on the ultimate. Let's see which one it is. Yep, someone's doing it. Right, let's spam our barrage. Go over here, get some imbuement left. Our specialist is the mark, because then we kill it, it makes it vulnerable. We kill that and we get our energy back. Is the whole point. There goes the wrong button again. That's lucky though, because there's the boss. Oh, the stun worked on him. There we go. That's Shadow Step working its magic. We didn't quite get our energy off. It's the only problem with playing with other characters on this build. They kill our marked characters, so we don't get the energy regeneration. There we go. There we go. That's a nice little event to start on this character and show how it works in theory. Anyway, let's pick up some gold for the Necromancer build I'm hoping to do. Let's get back home. So there you go. That's a quick video on how my bow rogue now works. Got a little bit spoiled by that other character because we have to kill our marked targets to get that energy regeneration. Without that, we can't keep up barrage, and that is our main skill. If we can keep that up, then it is. Oh, why is that? Oh, it's a blacksmith, and I have to change my gear around. I was hoping to sell that. Rookie mistake, rookie mistake. There we go. I'm not interested in upgrading the gear on this character. So that's the rogue. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. If I've spoke too quickly for you, then by all means slow the video down and you'll be able to catch everything that is shown and or discussed. See you in the next one. On to my barb. So let's just go through the abilities first. Get to the beginning. There we go. So we've taken 4 in Frenzy for the increased damage, and because Frenzy, in my opinion, is the best one to generate Fury for the particular build I'm playing. We then put 1 point into Enhanced Frenzy because the other 2 points I didn't feel were worth it. In comparison to what I could get out of the rank 4 for Frenzy. We come down from there and we took 4 out of 5 for Upheaval. Then we took Enhanced Upheaval and Violent Upheaval. We then came down and took Rallying Cry for the Unstoppable bit because that's what Enhanced Rallying Cry does. And then we took Tactical Rallying Cry for the 25 Fury and Resource Generation. We also then took a War Cry for Berserking and Mighty War Cry for the Fortify. I did have Power War Cry, but for some reason I didn't see the at least 6 enemies part. I don't know why. So that was doing absolutely nothing for most of the time. We come down from there and we took 4 out of 5 for Death Blow, then we took Enhanced Death Blow and Warrior's Death Blow for Berserking. This unlocked our ultimate skill, which of course is Call of Ancients, Prime Call of Ancients and Supreme Call of Ancients. I did mess around with Wrath of the Berserker for a few, but that 5-second duration is it's just not long enough. It just is not long enough. I'd be better off without that second line and just having it for 10 seconds. That would seem worth, but it's not. So Call of Ancients wins out for me. As for our expertise, we can't actually open up the weapon technique, but all of this seems to work. I'm not sure why, but it does, so it's a bit weird. As for the gear, this gear sits above how much investment I put into the rogue, but a lot less than the druid. So we've got a 3 out of 4 upgraded helm with a barrier. We've got a 2 out of 4 upgraded chest with injured whilst being current control. We've got a non-upgraded gloves with +1 to upheaval, which means also we have a 41% chance to summon an ancient to perform upheaval when we use upheaval on a 5-second cooldown. Pants, each point of fury above and beyond our max gives us 45, which is kind of cool when we're spamming frenzy against bosses. It's the only real time it gets used. We've got these 3 out of 4 boots, core skills, 40% chance to extend the duration of Berserk. We have a big rare maul for our 2-handed bludgeon. We've got this cleaver axe that we just picked up from a treasure goblin. Unfortunately that video was corrupted, and I've had to re-record this one. So we've got a crit chance against injured enemies, and while I'm healthy get 60% chance increased crowd control duration. And for our 2 one-handers we've got a 3 out of 4 upgraded inner calm sword and a rare slashing axe. That's the gear, that's the abilities. Let's go into the world and see if we can find something to get our teeth into. I don't think I've got any quests that are nearby waypoints that we could jump into. I think that's in a dungeon maybe, and that secret spring is bugged, I can't clear it. No, we'll just go out into the world and see what we can find. The one past the Passeo of Curiosities seems to be the closest one. Oh, went the wrong way. It's over here. Yeah, it's a dungeon quest into the Black Asylum. I don't have time to do a dungeon, unfortunately. It's coming up. I'm now in British summertime, so as you can see in the top right hand corner, it's 11:46. British time is -1 GMT, so it is in fact lunchtime for me. So I got to do a chore and then off to do some lunch. The main skill we actually use out in the world is Death Blow, because it just kills everything. As you can see, it's got that 1-second cooldown, which is a bit of annoying, and there are some mobs that it doesn't kill, but you soon learn which ones they are, and this is why we have frenzy and upheaval, because upheaval just kills. And then you're still the ancient. So let's go and see if we can find something big and nasty to get our teeth into, so we can summon lots of big things like the actual ultimate skill. If not, we'll just do it anyway. Anything up here? Oh, we haven't actually investigated this area. Let's go and see what's in here. Probably nothing, but we can hope. Oh, rubber banding. Here we go. Oh, lots of mobs. Right, so let's put our war cry up, our other war cry up, and then we'll get frenzy going. We'll summon our ancients with death blow staff. There we go. Oh, if I'd have seen that, I would have saved it, but never mind. Death blows on cooldown, so we just upheaval. There goes our barrier. Why am I not doing... Oh, it's on cooldown. Whoops. so used to having Deathblow off cooldown. This is why we put lots of points into Deathblow, because it does more damage. The only thing is as you can see, if mobs move, you still use Deathblow, so it goes on cooldown, which is annoying. We'll just do this little area as a little bit of more stuff. Call of Ancients is almost off cooldown, so we'll wait for that. We're not going to need it, but okay, it's back up again. Another reason for using Call of Ancients, the actual cooldown of that is not that bad. F, right click, Deathblow, 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 Deathblow everywhere. Oh, Upheaval, spam Upheaval. There we go, Frenzy's off cooldown. I think we're supposed to be saving this guy. Yeah, I'll get you out in a minute. Oh, why is it constant on cooldown all the time? I don't remember this area being this bad to clear. Maybe I did it on a different character. Oh, a little bit of death there. It's a poison damage. Oh, now we're going to be frozen. Out comes our friendly neighbourhood ancients with another one because of Upheaval. Get our... What's this on cooldown? Oh, we didn't save the hostages. Oh well, never mind. Whoopsie daisy. There's too many of them. There we go. Okay, so that's that done for you. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I didn't save the trapped people. I kind of lost track and was just killing mobs. Such is the way of the barbarian. Hope you enjoyed this portion of the video. Have a good time. In conclusion, I absolutely love this game in its current iteration. I'm well aware there has been some bugs, and there is some bugs with it. It's also a bit sad that we couldn't test the Druid and the Barb to its full extent, not being able to access their specializations. I have no idea why they are so much further away than the other classes. I think that is something they should rectify. Otherwise you've got to travel halfway across the world at level 15 just to get your specializations, when the other classes can get them really easily and quickly. If I could play this game right now full time, I would. However, saying that, I don't know what the end game is going to be like. If it's end up just being a dungeon farm fest, I could see that getting boring quite quickly. However, as long as there's something to farm, to collect, probably alright. This is one of the things that draws me to the game. Is that you've got all these things that you can collect. You've got this here with the reward system for each area. It shows you what you can collect in the areas, which I think is great. You've got all this up here as well. You've also got the collection, so you can go out and collect all the aspects from legendary powers or dungeons, etc. You've also got the challenges that you can hunt down. You've got multiplayer challenges as well, which I didn't do a lot of. It's also got the clan structure, which seems to be pretty good. I haven't joined a clan, as you can see. I just did an almost SSF style event where I was solo most of the time. But yeah, I think it's brilliant. I really do love this game. We don't know what's coming up when it gets finally released. There is a few hours left of the beta. I'm now going to go and do some chores, and after that I am then going to sit and mess around with the Necromancer and just wipe out all of the stuff I have. There's no point in keeping it. It's all going to get deleted. So I'm more likely to strip down the Rogue and the Barb now and just turn it all into gold and invest heavily in the Necro and see what I can come up with in the next few hours. There won't be any more D4 videos from me, and then the next videos will probably be after the Path of Exile release. I think that's coming up at the end of this week. I think it's due, or is it next week? I don't know. It's coming up shortly. Soon, DM. So I'm looking forward to that. We've got 3.21 around the corner for Path of Exile. Last Epoch is around as well. In comparison, I know there's different investments in the 3 games. Path of Exile's been around for over a decade. Last Epoch is still in its early stages of beta with no release date announced yet, so there's plenty of time for that game. But right now, to compare them, D4 is the game for me, I have to say. I like the Last Epoch campaign system. That is really fun and great. However, as soon as I get into the Monolith system, I find it very monotonous and boring. I can't do more than 2 or 3 in a go, and then I'm bored. I need something else to do, and there isn't anything else to do in Last Epoch on the same character. You farm your monoliths, and that's it. And unfortunately, every monolith there isn't sort of upgrades. It's almost like you're farming for Runes of Shattering to get your affixes, to put your affixes on gear, and then you're trying to find an item that's got a decent stat on it or 2 with a lot of forging potential on there, but then you do one craft and all your forging potential is gone because you don't want to use it. And it's a great game, but right now it's not for me. With Path of Exile, I've got a lot of stuff in Path of Exile. It's quicker than Diablo 4. We don't know how the mount structure is going to work. Hopefully that'll be a good way they've put that in. Because right now, running around Act 1 without a mount is a bit, it takes too long. If you look at the map, there are massive swathes between areas. So if there's something going on over here, you've got... I doubt there's another. I've got all the waypoints, so you've got to either walk from Bear Tribe or from Menstead to here, and then you've got this dungeon that's right in the middle of nowhere anyway, I think the maps are too big. They didn't need to be this big, and I'm sure one of them's quoted in one of the early development interviews that the map is so big they've had to introduce mounts. And my immediate comment was, if they're so big you need to have mounts, make the areas smaller and then you don't need mounts. They've decided to go with mounts, so we'll see how that comes around. We don't know how mounts are going to be in the game, so again, something that's not in the beta that I think should have been, just for us to test out and release any bugs, because they're going to put it in the live. It's not really going to be massively tested. There could be bugs, and then it could have an impact on people's thoughts of the game. Lots of things to come. June is not that far off. We're coming into April right now, so it's only a couple of months away, really. And with 3.21 Path of Exile around the corner, we're going to be, near the end of that, and bam, Diablo 4 should be released. Unless they delay, of course. They could delay and do another beta. We don't know what complications that may arise, etc, etc, etc. All the variables. Hope you've enjoyed my videos on Diablo 4. Hope you've had a great weekend. Hope you enjoy the week. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have fun, Ravens.